Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. Bulls continue to regain lost ground as positive global cues lift sentiment. The Nifty hits the highest level in 2 weeks, reclaiming 22,500. The rupee weakens marginally against the US dollar after yesterday's rally. Crude oil prices hit a 3-year low with Brent crude falling below the $70 mark. The US government wants zero tariffs on all goods traded with India, barring agricultural products. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal met with his counterpart in Washington. Sources say India is unlikely to get any concessions from the US on the proposed reciprocal tariff scheduled to come in from the 2nd of April. That's an exclusive.
But why can't Elon Musk be successful in this country?
Because we Indians are here. We are here. He cannot produce what Mahindra can do, what Tata can do. Not possible.
Elon Musk will not be successful in India, says Sajjan Jindal. Warns Tesla will not have an easy ride and cites competition to Tata and Mahindra. Jindal is also tied up with MG Motors to manufacture electric and hybrid cars. That's a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Top US automakers General Motors, Ford and Stellantis get a 1-month reprieve from the tariffs imposed. US President Donald Trump approves a 1-month relaxation to US-based automakers, exempts them from the 25% tariff levy on Canadian and Mexican imports as long as they comply with free trade rules. The White House says that the Trump administration took the decision after speaking to America's 3 big auto manufacturers. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar discusses the India-UK trade deal and other issues with his British counterpart David Lammy in London. India condemns a security breach after pro-Khalistani protesters attempted to heckle Minister Jaishankar.
And most of our sons, our daughters are smarter than us. They have to be given the right direction by the parent.
I think the problem is with the parents in terms of giving them very easy way of enjoying wealth.
It is actually a responsibility of the previous generation to ensure that it's exciting enough for the next generation to come into the business.
Top leaders weigh in on the debate over the next generation choosing to run family offices over wealth creation. A special conversation coming up. Well, let's start with the market action today, where the bulls did regain some lost ground. The Sensex and the Nifty gaining for the second day. The Sensex gained over 600 points today, and the Nifty added over 200, reclaiming 22,500. So closing 200 points higher. That's the Nifty. The Sensex up 609. The mid-cap index gaining about 180 points. And the Nifty Bank also some reprieve there, 140 points higher. That is the story as far as our market is concerned. About BSE-listed companies adding 12 lakh crore rupees to market cap just today. So some reprieve there for our markets. In the money market, the Indian rupee weakened marginally against the US dollar. The rupee has seen a big rally yesterday, gaining over 30 paise. And today, it lost about 16 paise. In the last 2 weeks, the RBI has announced measures worth $20 billion to shore up liquidity and stem the rupee's fall. So that's the dollar rupee at 87.11 for you. And that's the bond market action. Lata is standing by with more on the impact of the RBI's recent measures on the currency and bond markets. Lata.
Actually, there are too many moving parts actually in the currency market. The biggest bazooka is Europe deciding to spend. Ever since the European Commission was created, they had this big, strict 3% debt ceiling. Now they've broken out of it and said that countries will be allowed to extend, raise the limit by about 1% if it is for debt spending. Separately, they have also said, Germany has said, that they're also going to increase their debt spending. And this has resulted in the euro, strengthening a lot because that will mean so much of spending on, automobiles, warships, etc. And that strengthens the euro because funds flow into European stocks and the dollar weakens. So that's one story that's playing out. It was quite unexpected. And of course, the dollar also became a little weak. On fears that this tariff on Canada and Mexico can first weaken the US itself. Now, separate from all this is what's happening in the rupee market. What the Reserve Bank has done is this another 10 billion of FX swaps. What does it basically mean? They announced one already and they did one on Feb 28. The RBI had sold a lot of dollars, but the actual selling was pushed forward because they sold forward dollars all through October, November, December. So they haven't accumulated some 80 billion of open positions. Now, 20 billion of that over last 2 months, on February 28th and today, they've pushed it 3 years forward. So that's sitting on the head that, the RBI will come in and supply these dollars. That is not there. It's less. But separately as well, what the move does of this FX swaps is it makes forward dollars cheaper. So hedging becomes cheaper. And the expectation on the part of bankers is that a lot of companies will now borrow ECBs because it becomes cheap to hedge them. And that will mean the capital account deficit that we are facing because of FPI capital outflows could get reduced because we will get debt flows. Incidentally, debt flows have been coming. The FPIs are selling equity. In debt, barring January, all other months, they were positive. Now there will be private, corporate debt also coming in. So that pressure on the dollar also goes down. Now, where does all this leave the rupee? Actually, it's still quite ranged. There are enough factors on both sides. Against the dollar and pro the rupee is the fact the dollar itself has weakened. It's now back to DXY is where it was before Trump was elected. Oil is cheaper. That's positive for the rupee. And exporters usually bring in money by March 31st for their own accounts. The Reserve Bank also will not want a very bad ending. That is pro-rupee. Now, anti, of course, is April 2nd is yet to come. And then FPIs have not stopped selling. So those negatives remain. But the mode in the market is that the worst is definitely over for the rupee, simply because now no one is that long dollar. That craze for a long dollar is completely gone out of the market. People won't take speculative positions.
All right, Lata, many thanks for joining us. That was the rupee market action. In the commodities market, shares of oil marketing companies gained in trade after prices of crude oil prices slipped to 3-year lows. Brent crude declining below $70 a barrel, extending the losses of over 6% in the last 4 trading sessions. And in the gold market, the yellow metal has seen modest gains today, largely helped by the pullback in the US dollar. Gold prices also reached a near lifetime high in intraday trade on the MCX, marking the highest price since the 24th of February. And in the crypto space, Bitcoin prices surging past $90,000, marking an increase of around 6% in just the last 24 hours. The prices of Ethereum and Solana also up 6% each. The surge comes as US President Donald Trump has said he will host the crypto community at the White House on Friday. Staying with President Trump, he's decided to delay tariffs on some vehicles from Mexico and Canada by a month. Now, this comes after the heads of General Motors, Ford and Stellantis urged the president to exempt vehicles that comply with the free trade agreement that came into effect in 2020. The White House said that 1-month reprieve was being given to ensure that these 3 automakers are not at an economic disadvantage. President Trump's new 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada came into effect on Tuesday. The Trump administration is also reportedly considering exempting some Canadian and Mexican agricultural imports from the high levy. And speaking of tariffs, the Trump administration has also put out a list of demands for India. They've sought a zero-tariff regime for almost all goods being traded with India, barring agricultural products. The demand from the U.S. government comes close on the heels of Tesla gearing up to enter India. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal held high-level trade talks with his U.S. counterparts in Washington, D.C. Sources tell us that India is unlikely to get any concessions from the proposed reciprocal tariffs from the 2nd of April. Parikshit joins us now with more details. Parikshit, zero tariff on demand, that's the big one coming in from the US. But what are you picking up on what India's response is likely to be?
India and US have initiated trade talks this week after threatening all nations, including India, with reciprocal tariffs starting 2nd April. The US government, as per our sources, wants 0 tariffs for all product lines except for agriculture. This comes at a time when Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is in US for talks with USTR Jamieson Greer and US Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. This is the first time that the two sides are formally initiating talks on the bilateral trade agreement that Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump have agreed to sign by September or October this year. Can India offer 0 tariffs on all US goods coming into India, including Tesla? That remains to be seen. However, experts have been saying that India can offer 0 tariffs on 90% of industrial goods coming in from the US. India would also like more market access for goods made by labor-intensive sectors in India and by SMEs. While India would like the reciprocal tariffs to be set aside, sources say so far there is little likelihood of any carve-out for India. When it comes to automobiles, it is very clear that Donald Trump wants American cars like Tesla and Harley-Davidson motorcycles to be sold in India tariff-free without having to set up manufacturing. As far as Tesla's India entry goes, things seem to be moving fast, with Tesla taking a 4,000 square feet space in Maker's Max City Mall in BKC in Mumbai. They're going to pay over 36 lakhs per month in rent over 5 years, and the lease deed has come into effect in February this year. Tesla has also taken some parking spots in the building to charge cars. The company, as per our sources, has also taken a space on rent in Worldmark Mall in AeroCity. The company has also kickstarted hirings for Pune and Mumbai, mainly for showroom-related roles. Let's see what happens before the 2nd of April when US reciprocal tariffs kick in. Will Tesla succeed with its entry-level models in India, considering the price of Tesla's base model is $35,000 or 31 lakh rupees, and an average Indian car costs around $11,000 or rupees 10 lakhs. With a 15% import duty, as stated in India's electric car manufacturing scheme, the price of Tesla's car can go up to $40,000 or $42,000 or 37 lakh rupees. The high cost is the reason why some believe that Tesla may not be able to make a big splash in the India car market.
All right, Parikshit, many thanks for joining us. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is hosting a post-budget seminar, and she says the interests of Indian exports have been well documented and flagged with the US. Speaking at an event in Visakhapatnam, the Finance Minister cited Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal's visit to Washington, D.C. and said the government will protect the interests of Indian exporters. Take a look.
Well, at the moment, based on the information that we have, and also with the Commerce Ministry having had a consultation with some stakeholders, the Minister has gone to the US to initiate some discussion. The interest of all our exporters is well documented with the Commerce Ministry, and so we have to see how the Ministry is taking up the negotiation there. All of us are constantly giving information and sharing inputs to protect the interest of Indian exporters. So that much I can say now, but let's see what comes out of the negotiations.
Well, that is the Finance Minister. JSW Chairman Sajjan Jindal exclusively told CNBC-TV18 that Elon Musk will not be successful in India and warned that Tesla will not have an easy ride here. Speaking to me at the EY Entrepreneur Awards, Jindal said the market is dominated by domestic players, reiterating that Musk cannot do what Tata Motors and Mahindra can for the Indian market. Remember, Jindal himself has tied up with MG Motors to manufacture electric and hybrid cars in India. Take a look.
I'm putting now my heart and soul in the auto business, and I'm 100% sure that it'll be a super successful. There's nothing can stop me from being successful.
Nothing can stop you.
Nothing can stop me from being successful. So I know Anish is here from Mahindra & Mahindra, but I know that it'll be a super success because this country needs a huge amount of autos, huge amount of good quality stuff.
It needs Elon Musk as well.
Elon Musk is not here. He is in the US.
But he's likely to come.
Yeah.
He's likely to come if the
He can't be
duties are
successful in this country.
Why
I
not?
can tell you.
Why not? Why can't Elon Musk be successful in this country?
Because we Indians are here. We are here. He cannot produce what Mahindra can do, what Tata can do. Not possible. He can do under Trump's shadow. He can do in the US. He's super smart. There's no question about it. He's maverick. He's super smart. He's doing this spacecraft and stuff like that. He's done amazing. So I have nothing. I don't want to take anything from him in the sense that he's too smart. But to be successful in India is not an easy job. In bits and pieces, private investment is happening. I wouldn't say that private investment is not happening. If you were to look at what JSW is doing, we are really investing and investing like hell. So there are many groups which are investing. But across the board, I would say the investment, the numbers are not as much as it should be. But I think it's time that private sector...
Is it a confidence issue? Is it a capital issue?
It's more of a confidence issue. I don't think capital is there is any problem with the capital.
Well, that's Sajjan Jindal, and you can catch more of that right here on CNBC-TV18. Now, February turned out to be a weak month for the auto sector. Data released by the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, that's FADA, shows that all segments have registered negative growth on an annual basis in the month, with the two-wheeler segment witnessing a decline of 6% and three-wheelers slipping 2% on a yearly basis. The drop was largely led by inventory imbalances, aggressive pricing and weak consumer sentiment. Entry-level demand for passenger vehicles also remained weak during the month. In the electric vehicle segment, Bajaj Auto sold over 20,000 units in February, leading with 28% market share. This was followed by TVS Motors, which sold over 17,000 units and had a market share of 25%. Ola Electric sold over 8,000 units and slipped to number 4 in the pecking order. The sell-off in shares of Jindal Engineering continued even today, with the stock hitting a lower circuit once again. The stock fell even as the management denied any wrongdoing in response to rating agency ICRA's allegations of falsification of loan repayment documents. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC-TV18, Jindal Engineering's chairman and MD Anmol Jaggi said the company is happy to share details of the debt repaid with the stock exchanges, adding that promoters will buy company shares from the open market to regain the trust of customers. As per Jaggi, the company's debt obligation for the next 3 months stands at about 60 crore rupees. He's hopeful of being able to pay that on time and get a ratings upgrade.
I will go on the falsification of the document which is there. There has been zero wrongdoing as far as we are aware, and we will continue to work with high ethical standards. The committee has been formed so that this is independent and we can allege the allegation which has been made on us for document being wrongly provided. That can be independently verified. It is in the best corporate governance standards that independent committee does the audit of this rather than me or anybody else.
Well, that's Jindal Engineering clarifying on the ICRA report of alleged wrongdoing. FMCG distributor body has filed a petition with the Competition Commission of India against quick commerce apps. Sources have told CNBC-TV18 that All India Consumer Product Distributors Federation alleged that the apps were engaging in deep discounting and predatory pricing. The federation also claimed that these apps are selling products at nearly 50% discount as compared to general trade, and this impacts over 1 crore Kirana store owners. Over 30,000 Indian taxpayers have declared foreign assets worth more than 29,000 crore rupees. Sources telling CNBC-TV18 that the government received financial information from over 100 nations pertaining to foreign accounts in the form of interest and dividends earned. Sources also say that over 6,700 taxpayers revised their residential status from resident to non-resident. Also, the number of taxpayers disclosing foreign assets on a voluntary basis has steadily grown to over 2.31 lakh taxpayers in assessment year 2024-25. We will head into a break, but up next, top industry leaders weigh in on the debate over next gen choosing to run family offices over family businesses. That and more when we return. Family business versus family office. A big debate has been raging across corporate India after Uday Kotak and Harsh Goenka called out heirs of top business families for focusing on investment through family offices over wealth and value creation. I spoke with Sajjan Jindal, Harsh Mariwala and Velayan Subaya on the next generation of business leaders and their thoughts on the road ahead.
Do you believe that the next generation is happy running family offices as opposed to running businesses? And is this a problem?
My son came back from Harvard and he wanted to start a venture fund. And he picked up one company in Bangalore and he said, I want to invest in this company which was making EV two-wheelers. And I told him, so I also said, okay, this is his first project. He wanted to, so he said that, Dad, why don't you come along with me? I said, okay, I'll come. Went to Bangalore, visited this factory, amazing plant, amazing product. And but then I came back to Bombay in the aircraft. Parth asked me, what do you think about it? I said, not at all a good idea. Because I want you to work, I want you to make money and not use my money, what I have earned over the years, and then multiply that. That's not my idea. So, and then he changed. And then later on, I think Pawan Munjal invested in that company. What we were to invest, Pawan invested in that company. Harsh Goenka's son is smarter than Harsh Goenka, right? And he's really doing an extremely good job. So to say that and Uday's son, Jay, is extremely smart.
Yes.
And he's now working in the bank and doing extremely well. So the next generation, most of them are extremely smart, smarter than us. My son is smarter than me. And most of our sons, our daughters are smarter than us. They have to be given the right direction by the parent. That, you need to invest, you need to work hard, you need to build yourself and not use your father's money. So that's my take.
And not use your father's. Yes, Mr. Mariwala.
So I think I would agree with what Sajjan is saying. I think the root cause is the children or the family, I think the family has to set the right example in terms of creating the right culture of talking about business, take them, even if they're young, take them to factories, market visits, expose them. And the whole aspiration of the younger generation is built by what the family talks about every day on a dinner table, even if they are young. I think the problem is with the parents in terms of giving them very easy way of enjoying wealth, not putting that kind of, I wouldn't call it pressure, but expectations from them. I think the learning is more at the elders rather than the youngsters. And you can't blame the youngsters. They have been brought up in a certain way, and they will behave in a certain way if they've been brought up in a certain way.
Vela and Subhaya, as a fourth-generation entrepreneur, how do you have to weigh in on this debate?
No, I totally concur with both what Sajjan and Harsh said. First off, it is actually a responsibility of the previous generation to ensure that it's exciting enough for the next generation to come into the business, right? And they have to create an environment where part of it is excitement, but I also think it's a responsibility, right? Because if you think of nation building, who has a better platform than these kids, right? They, the parents have already done the hard work, or perhaps 3 generations have done the hard work. And then they have platform, they have network, they have access, right? They have capital, they have everything that entrepreneurs really struggle for. First generation entrepreneurs really struggle for. So if they don't use that platform to go, I always say there's the 0 to 1s, right? That Shailendra funds, then there's the 1 to 10s that Shweta funds. And then, when you've already got this advantage, you're at 10. If you're not thinking of 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000, then I think you're doing a massive disservice to the country, right?
Well, splitting airs on that debate. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. Thanks very much for watching. Do stay tuned. The news will continue right here on CNBC-TV18.